So before we start processing, just a few words about what processing implies. So this is a so-called raw scan, no matter Live 3D or not. We have to do what's called registration. So all these frames are not stacked up ideally, and we do registration to find the best position, the best fit for all these frames, so that as the final result, we have a clean point cloud with all the frames matching each other perfectly. Plus, we can do or we can just avoid doing cleaning. So we have a bit of noise here. If we like, we can clean it during registration, or we can skip this procedure. So we have this preliminary cleaning option over here. So to start registration, just right click on this button, which is start non-textured, and we have registration here. If you right click on it, you can start registration, and then when your point cloud is prepared, you can actually save it already, because for many applications, this is all you need, only point cloud. So you can do that. But in most cases, you're also going to need a polygonal model. So first of all, before transforming this point cloud into polygonal model, you have to select what you're going to need. So apparently we don't need this table, we only need this part over here. So we're using priority mode for that to select what are we going to need. And after that, right clicking on start non-textured, and we start finalization using the parameters that we set over here in the settings. And in this case, this part of a point cloud that we marked as important will be finalized, and it will be transformed into polygonal model. And we can, of course, save it after that. And after we have a polygonal model, we may texturize this model if the scan has texture frames. Okay, but in many cases, you can't really scan a part in one go, in one scan. So you're going to need to make a couple of scans, move the part around. And to combine a couple of scans, number of scans, what you have to do is to process each one of them separately and then do an alignment. So if they are positioned incorrectly in respect to each other, they have to be aligned, so they have to put in such a way that they fit. And after this, we have the second button, which is start multiple non-textured. And if you right click on it, you see the same operations, registration and finalization, but they are multiple. So if you select a number of scans, these procedures will be done to all these scans as if it was some kind of a single data set. So registration goes through all the frames, tries to stack them up in a best possible way, and finalization then creates a polygonal model based on this multiple point cloud that we have. And of course, final result can also be texturized. So if you don't like this menu style of these buttons, you can always right click on this panel, click process stages, and we have this panel which have these buttons separate. So here is registration, finalization, multiple registration, multiple finalization, and texturing. So if you find this more convenient, you can always activate process stages and use this panel. The functions are the same. But just to tell what's the main difference. So when you just click on this button, you do registration and finalization in sequence. Sometimes when you already learn the ropes, it may be easier and more convenient just to click this button and start these two processes together.